my beautiful friend, and welcome to today's reading. I can't believe it's been an entire month since the last Pick a Pile tarot reading, and yet that seems to happen every February, doesn't it? The month flies by so quickly. It's the shortest month of the year, and all of a sudden we're catapulted into spring. So happy springtime. March 1st starts this cycle of regrowth and regeneration and rejuvenation, and really marks the perfect time to start working on something new, like to bring in the energy of life once again. Those of us living in the part of the world where the snow is starting to melt, the solid ground is starting to thaw, maybe flowers will start to blossom again soon and we'll go on daylight savings. For us especially, this is the time of year when we feel like we're really ready to cleanse away any drudgery left over from the winter and hop into a new beginning. If you're watching and you happen to be from a climate that stays fairly consistent year-round, or if you have your seasons reversed, if you're in Australia or something, don't worry, there will still be messages in this for you. I believe that very strongly, that if you've tuned into this video, it's for a reason. Now, today, as you can see, I have the cards already divided up. I did things a little differently this time, thinking I'll save you a bit of time as you watch this video. Instead of shuffling and dividing all of the cards on camera, I've pre-divided them into piles, tuning into spirit and requesting that the right cards will fall under the right pile. And then I've associated each pile with a very special crystal talisman. And we're going to call this one here pile 1, this one here pile 2, and this one here pile 3. Don't worry about what the stones are. Don't worry about what they represent. Just have a look at these 3 pendants. Pick which one is your favorite, and then check the video description box for the timestamp associated with your choice of pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. And as I start your reading, I'll also tell you a little bit about the treasure that you chose. All right. So I'm setting pile 3 and pile 2 aside. So pile 1, welcome to your spring cleaning reading. I should have included this in the introduction. The theme of today's reading is spring cleaning, and so which stagnant energies in life are ready to be flipped around, transformed, possibly dusted away or swept away, and how we can reestablish ourselves towards working for the goals that really matter in this beautiful season of recreation. The talisman you chose that I've made for my Etsy shop, The Art of Gems, is this stunningly beautiful Himalayan diamond quartz twin with a little piece of genuine Czech Moldavite. Now, if you're one of my regular viewers, you already know Moldavite is the ultimate talisman for transformation. It's called the Starborn Stone of Transformation, a phrase coined by Robert Simmons, one of the first crystal healers to bring Moldavite onto the world stage. And whenever we're drawn to Moldavite, it means that we are ready to let go of anything toxic that we've been holding on to in life. Now, while that might sound like a no-brainer, like, come on, who wouldn't want to let go of toxicity? Believe it or not, a lot of people feel addicted to things that are bad for them. Think smoking, think alcohol, think drugs, think dead animals that people eat, and they think that they have to keep eating them. You know, people can get addicted to stuff that is harmful. And as much as they might sometimes want to break those addictions, it can sometimes feel so difficult when they try to actually do it that they feel like life is just too hard without the crutch, without the negative thing that they've attached to, because that negative attachment makes them feel temporarily good, even if it causes long-term bad. Now, while it's easy to recognize the harm caused by something like a drug or junk food, or, an addiction to escapism through constant mind-numbing television watching or whatever else a person clings to, it's not always easy to identify the more subtle harmful things in our lives, like a toxic work environment, but we might feel like we need to be there for the paycheck, or a codependent or abusive relationship, but we feel like we need to stick with it because we made a commitment to the person, or a bully friend group that we feel we need because everybody needs friends. And so a lot of people fear Moldavite because Moldavite makes those toxic connections intolerable. It's like if you think your workplace is bad and you start wearing a piece of Moldavite, be prepared to either get pushed to the point that you quit your job or that you're let go because you're no longer a vibrational match for a negative environment. If you're in a toxic relationship and you start wearing Moldavite, say goodbye to that abusive partner because you will no longer put up with their shit. It's like a stone that is the epitome of spring cleaning on an energetic level, which is why I chose it to go with pile 1, like to start the day's number of readings on this note with this frequency. But the thing is, when we're drawn to Moldavite, it means that we have already outgrown those harmful attachments. It's like when an addict reaches rock bottom and they understand that there's literally nothing good in their harmful habit, that it's only led them to bad, and they finally feel like they want help. When a friend does something so mean that you realize, you know what, I would rather be temporarily lonely and be ready to meet good friends than keep putting up with this. It's kind of like when we're drawn to Moldavite, we understand that anything harmful in life is worth giving up because something better is available. We become fearless in the face of change. There's a saying that a lot of people will quote if you have a bully boss or an abusive partner, and they say, well, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know, implying that if you take yourself out of harm's way, something even worse might happen. And this is the kind of limiting belief, third dimensional reality trap we are all here to elevate from, to grow beyond, and to transmute. The devil you know might be better than the devil you don't, but the devil you know is definitely worse than the angel you haven't met yet. And when you raise your vibration and you let go of negativity, it is never going to be replaced by something even worse. It will only ever be replaced by something even better. And that's what I love about Moldavite. It's not the kind of thing that amplifies toxicity to the point that it reaches a breaking point and now you're on your own to pick up the pieces. It's the kind of thing that sheds the light on the darkness. It doesn't make the bad stuff worse. It makes the bad stuff easier to identify. It's not like if you're getting hurt, the pain is going to feel even worse. It's more like if you're getting hurt, but you've become numb to that pain, your awareness is going to return once again so that you can fix it, so that you can save yourself, so that you can get better. By nature of the fact that you chose this beauty as your talisman, you are at that point when you've raised your vibration. You've done some good spiritual work. So good for you, pile one. You've got this. We're all here for you. Me, the crystals I work with, the guides who are going to channel a message for you through today's cards. And it's an exciting time. The Moldavite journey may have already begun for you if you have a piece of this beautiful tektite in your collection. If not, I would encourage you to get some. Of course, I have some guaranteed real pieces in my Etsy shop, The Art of Gems. You can also find pieces that are authentic on places like Heaven and Earth, Robert Simmons's company. Do some research, make sure you're buying from a credible source. Now the other stone that you've selected, and I'm just noticing now the striations that make it a Lemurian seed, very special. The other stone is this twin Himalayan quartz diamond. And whenever we see a twin crystal, it's a time for manifesting love, for deepening your heartfelt connection to others. This can mean it's time for you to begin a new romantic cycle. If you've been single, it could be time for you to manifest a loving relationship. If you're in a relationship already, this might be time to deepen your connection, to increase your resonance with the other, to kind of merge your lives together even more. Twin crystals, as you can see in this one, are two unique crystals. Each one holds its own shape, holds its own form, but they have literally grown together, so the two have become one. If you feel called to, or if you believe in twin flames, for example, this is a great crystal to work with to attract that connection, to find your twin, to make a soul level meeting possible. If that doesn't resonate with you, it might mean it's time to meet members of your soul family, people from your soul tribe, and really deepen that connection. Break away from the loneliness and start enjoying some togetherness. So I'll keep this talisman visible to keep that vibration and that energy as we look at your cards. First, like I do in all my pick a card readings, I'm going to play a little bit of the singing bowl to give a sound bath to the space, to cleanse the deck that I'm about to read from. As I do this, take a very deep breath. Set the intention that whatever messages come through today are coming through from your higher guidance to serve your higher good. I'm surrendering to the highest good of the collective who has chosen pile one. Gods, goddesses, Arcturians, Pleiadians, Andromedans, all those in the love and light vibration. Thank you for blessing me with today's messages. Slowly exhale. Keep in that space of beautiful resonance. And let's look at your cards. So, top of the deck represents present. Bottom of the deck represents past. Present card, intention, represented by the stone topaz. Past card, spirit, represented by danburite, and it's reversed. We have a fire card and a storm card. Now, since this reading is all about what needs to be let go, I'm feeling like letting go of the past, moving into the future. Maybe I'll move these cards around so we have past, future. That's a more cohesive visual for it. When we look at your past and we see the card of spirit reversed, it means that you have developed a tendency to question the reality of your spiritual connections, your experiences, your beliefs, your worthiness to be on a spiritual journey. The card of spirit and the crystal of danburite, these represent the higher aspects of yourself not visible in day-to-day reality. The you that can't be defined by your name, your gender, your country of origin, your annual income, your education level, but the you that can be defined by your unique experience of reality, your perception of the world, your higher intentions, the goodness within you, the shadows within you, all of those are aspects of your spirit. Now, by nature of the fact that the card is here in the past, it shows that you have actively worked towards embodying your spirit on the physical plane. You have been somebody whose goals are not just physical, not just about fleeting happiness through material gain. Your goals have been more about realizing that higher state of consciousness. Whether you think of it as enlightenment or channeling your guides or connecting to your higher self, you've definitely set that as a goal. However, what I'm seeing in the past is that you feel that goal has not been reached. A reversed card doesn't mean you've had the opposite of spirit in the past. It means you've had the energy of spirit, but it has not been fulfilled. And so when it comes to letting go of past energies, cleaning that out for the springtime of your new self-discovery or your recreation of self, anywhere where you feel that you have failed in your spiritual seeking, your spiritual pursuits, your meditation practice, your manifestations, breathe that out. Like, do a little visual exercise right now. Visualize, or if you're not able to visualize, bring your awareness to any goals that you've set for yourself that you feel you have not achieved. Feel as if those goals are sitting in your chest. And when the air is in your lungs, so breathe in, hold that idea that all failures are in your chest, and now breathe out, exhale it. When we inhale, the body holds the oxygen and lets out everything else in the air that's not oxygen. Breathe all of that out. The trees can use that. They can create new oxygen from that. It's not hurting anybody. Let go of that toxicity with every exhale. Let go of the idea that you are a seeker of enlightenment and not an enlightened being enjoying the discovery of your existent enlightenment. Breathe out the idea that you haven't meditated enough, that you haven't done anything enough, that you haven't manifested your dreams, that you haven't achieved success. Breathe out anything where you feel like you're not perfect. And as you breathe out all the idea that you're not perfect, what you hold, what stays in your lungs, what oxygenates your blood and moves to your brain and moves to every cell of your body is the actual perfection. Within every aspect of our lives where we feel like we're a failure, there will be a seed of success. If you try to achieve something and you don't achieve the entire thing, say you set a goal to earn $1 million and you work your ass off towards that goal of earning $1 million and you don't earn $1 million, I guarantee you've earned at least $1, probably more. You may have earned $100 or $1,000. And if you're holding this idea that you had a goal of becoming a millionaire and you don't have $1 million, let go, breathe out the $999,000 you didn't earn. But make a part of yourself the gratitude, the pride for the 1,000 that you did earn. You've done something, and that's better than nothing. And if we can celebrate our small victories instead of dwelling on what might feel like big failures, the gap between feeling like a big failure with a small victory will start to reduce. And our victories will get bigger, and the failures will get smaller. And eventually we'll transmute the negative energy of those failures and understand when there's always room for improvement, it doesn't mean we haven't succeeded. It means we are still succeeding. This is true in the spiritual realm when it comes to your meditations. If you haven't been able to sustainably silence your mind and you have doubts or worries or things come up during your meditation sessions and you feel like you're not a perfect meditator yet, the yet means you are becoming that. And so let go of the idea that you're not that already. When you've set your goal to be something, a part of you already is that which you've set your goal to become. Celebrate that. Now, when we see the card for the present moment of intention, represented by topaz here, the golden topaz, you are represented by the character in this card made of starlight. He's made of the universe, robed in the universe. Within each of us, there's a divine masculine and a divine feminine. Just like within each twin crystal, within each pair of people, within each community, within each individual, whether you're in a male body or a female body or a transgender body, no matter what physical body you are in, within your spirit, there's masculine energy and feminine energy. The masculine is the energy that drives change, that drives transformation. Archetypally, is that the word for it? In the archetype of, say, a cisgendered couple, it's usually the man who legitimizes the relationship, right? Who says to the woman, let's take this to the next step. Similarly, energetically, it's the male energy within us that takes all the goodness we've received through our feminine essence and drives it forward to the next step, that takes action, that has the direction towards the manifestation of our goals. And so when we see the divine masculine embodied holding this staff, holding this beautiful crystalline magic wand, crowned by the light of spirit, existence is telling you your divine masculine is being empowered to drive yourself towards the achievement of your goals. Letting go of any area in which you feel like you haven't actualized your potential is part of the fun. Breathing in the gratitude for the small victories along that way is the next step. And then deciding what you want to do with this next is the third. When you decide what you want to do with this next and you understand that existence has crowned you and handed you that scepter to carry it forward into new creation, you are on fire. And this is a fire element card. Fire element represents passion. It represents the sacral chakra, taking physical action towards your goals, feeling the life force, feeling the vitality, feeling strong in your essence of self. This is a very powerful time for you, all of you who chose pile 1. It's a very powerful time for you to initiate new relationships, to initiate new projects, to start a new career path, to burn away any feelings of inadequacy and rise into the celestial king energy that has been bestowed upon you. You are in a very high vibration. I can feel it just by the sight of these cards. It has been a pleasure to do this little reading for you. It's a short one today, but it's a sweet one, and I hope it resonates. And as the last step for your reading, I'm going to pull one card from the Illustrated Crystallery. And I'm requesting all the higher guides of those who chose pile 1. What's the final little crystal message for us today? Beautiful, a different kind of love represented by rose quartz. Remember, the very first message that came through when you chose the twin crystal is that now is a time to take your relationships forward, to strengthen the connections you've already formed, or to develop a new connection if you're not currently in a relationship. What this card shows, represented by rose quartz, a very, very sweet love stone, is that we often feel as if love is colored by negative experiences that we've had in past relationships. We think it might be clingy, it might be needy, it might be codependent, it might be abusive, it might turn critical, it might go bad if the person changes or if you change and they're not on board with your changes. A lot of the time, if you're single, you have obviously never been in a relationship that worked. Or if you are born into a family of dysfunctional parents, maybe they separate, maybe they stay together, but resentfully so. And so there's an idea built up that love is impermanent or that love is not unconditional. When this card comes up, and it came up reversed, which in this deck refers to a heightened message. When it comes up like this, it shows that it's time to reframe your idea of love. Instead of assuming that because past relationships didn't succeed, they're never going to, or you might spoil a friendship if you move forward, or you might lose the feelings that you have if you're developing them. A different kind of love is telling you there is someone in this world for you who is not going to bring you down, who is not going to repeat the same patterns you've experienced in a bad way. A different kind of love is like the ultimate love. And when you see the lion here, in the animal kingdom, the lion represents the king. The lion is a fire element animal, just like the sign of Leo is a fire element star sign. When the lion is after you, that lion is trying to tell you you're a king. It's not chasing you to attack, it's chasing you to show you who you are. And so step into your power, be assertive, be commanding, own your divine masculinity, and get ready for a very beautiful romantic connection if that's something that you want. And if that's not something that you want, be ready to have that kind of a magnetic personality where your creative project, what you release into the world, is going to really magnetically attract people. Love isn't just about romance. Remember, this also refers to the energy exchanged with family, with friends, maybe with people you only know online who you connect to. When this card comes up, the love is getting strengthened in every dimension and in every facet. I love all the symbology in this card. The flames showing passion, the little pieces of water that show the ability to go with the flow, to surrender to the currents of the world. And of course, the blooming flowers, which again are a beautiful representation of springtime, of new growth, of new beginnings, and of sweetness. So there you have it, pile one. That was your reading for today. I'm going to do an extended reading for those who join me on Patreon for pile one, pile two, and pile three. So if you want to hear a slightly deeper message or a prolonged version of this message, I'll put a link to my Patreon in the video description. Also, if you would like to own this beautiful one-of-a-kind twin Himalayan diamond quartz with Moldavite Talisman, that's available in my Etsy shop, The Art of Gems, and I'll put a link to that in the video description as well. If this is where we're leaving it today, if this message is all you were after, thank you so much for watching it. I send you so much love, so much gratitude for checking out my video, and enjoy your newfound fire energy of life force, masculine power, creativity, and intention. What you're setting the intention for at this moment of time is very, very strong. It's within your grasp and you can get it, enjoy it, and we'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and share if you feel inspired to. Subscribe to my channel. That will really help me increase my viewership and make a good go at this tarot thing. All right, bye for now. All right, those of you who chose pile 2, it's time for your reading. Before I even describe your talisman, I'm going to play the singing bowl to cleanse out the energy from the reading in pile 1 in case you have a much different message. That way there's no lingering element from piles 1 reading carrying forward. So as I play the singing bowl, take a deep breath in. Set the intention that whatever messages come through are coming through from your higher guidance to serve your highest good. And likewise, I'm surrendering and letting go of my personal opinions, of my personal reactions, with the intention that whatever messages come through to serve the highest good of all who chose pile 2, of all who hear this message. Let me be a clear channel for the angels, the guides, the higher selves, the Arcturians, Pleiadians, Andromedans, all starseed energies, all those in the love light vibration. All gods, goddesses, existence, thank you for the messages you're revealing to us today. All right, pile 2, you have chosen a talisman that I sculpted and called the Earthstar. In our chakras, we have the 7 energy centers moving along the spinal column, from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. But there are also chakras beneath the feet and above the crown called the Earthstar and the Soul Star. The Earthstar chakra, personified in this talisman, is our deepest connecting point to Gaia, to Mother Earth, to the sustaining energy on this planet that not only gives life to our physical bodies, but also nourishes us, sustains us, keeps us hydrated, keeps us oxygenated. It's not only our physical mother, the planet Earth, it's also the spiritual mother of the human collective consciousness. Now, often when we're on this spiritual journey, when we're discovering ourselves celestially and we're connecting to our spiritual essence beyond the mundane third dimensional plane, we feel so drawn to the higher energies, the higher chakras, that we start to neglect our physicality. It's like taxes, who has time for paperwork? I'm opening my third eye right now. We start to neglect our roots. We start to feel as if family don't understand us, and school is just there to brainwash us, and society is irrelevant, and what matters is our star families and our mystic visions and our crown chakra sensations when we open to channel. And while those are all good things, while it is a beautiful process to connect with our star families and to start seeing mystic visions and to feel the crown chakra opening with gratitude to the universe beyond, it's also a good thing to ground our energy and connect with the earth below. Bhudevi, Mother Earth, is part of existence. Mind-blowing as this concept is, I mean, I know you already know this, so I'm being facetious when I say mind-blowing. I know you already know this, but sometimes we need to be reminded this, that while we think Jupiter is such a mystical planetary body out there at the edge of our solar system, guess what? Earth is also a planetary body, and you chose to be here. Whether in this lifetime, if you've come down as a star seed, or in a past lifetime when you first jumped on this roller coaster ride that is human incarnation experience, you did so by choice. And we sometimes feel like it's so painful. Some of the struggles, the suffering, when we see war break out, when we see the torture being committed against other people and animals of the animal kingdom, and the destruction of the environment, we feel so separated and disconnected from all of the people doing bad things that we feel almost ashamed of our humanity. We want to break free from our humanity. We just want to go back to whatever star system is love and light and get the hell away from this place. However, we can only transmute the negative energies here if we commit to being here. If we recognize the beauty and the possibility that exists on this planet when there is harmony, when there is love, when there is peace, when there is respect for one another and respect for nature and respect for our animal brothers and sisters. And so connecting the Earthstar chakra, activating the Earthstar chakra, is all about honoring Bhuloka, the earthly plane, Bhudevi, which is Sanskrit for the Divine Mother Earth. When we connect with Earth in a loving way where we recognize we're here to heal her, we're here to bring peace, we're here to not fall victim to the negativity, but to show a possibility beyond that negativity, to be positivity, that's when the real spiritual journey actualizes. You can have all kinds of love in your heart, clarity in your communication, vision in your inner sight, and gratitude to the universe out there. But that only becomes practically accessible and anchored when you also feel it in your willpower, live it in your relationships, and anchor it in your physical actions. The Soul Star chakra helps activate all three of the lower chakras: your home instinct, your ability to feel at peace and supported here, your sexual energy, your ability to form meaningful connections, and your willpower, your ability to lead others from a place of strength and not from a place of fear or desperation or eagerness to get away. And so this talisman is made with a slice of beautiful agate. It's the color of fire, like the solar plexus. The third eye of the character emerging from the agate is garnet, which very powerfully resonates with the root. And on top, the crowning stone is a lovely piece of pyrite, a stone of masculine energy, of action, of direction, and of physical vitality, of life force. And so if you've chosen this as your talisman, then this is a beautiful time in your life to get physical. Clean your room and feel the physical connection to your enjoyment for the gift you give yourself of cleanliness. Do a workout, start sweating, start running if you have good knees, or do a low impact exercise if you have trouble with your joints. Do some kind of physical activity to stimulate your heart rate and to get your blood flowing. And remember, you chose to be here for a reason, so if you're here, be here. That said, we're going to look at 2 cards today. The theme of the reading is spring cleaning, out with the old, in with the new. The card on the top of the deck is the new. The card on the bottom of the deck is the old. We always start with the present moment. So the energy of the new, path of service, Charawhite, and the old, action, carnelian. How interesting that the old is right side up and the new is reversed. This doesn't mean it was good back then and it's bad now. What that means is it was easy to understand and clear back then, and now it's getting a little bit confusing as we get more ephemeral. Let's start with the present moment, which is always the best place to start. The card of Charawhite is an air element card. Air element represents our intellect, our expression, our ability to put ideas out there. When you speak, your voice is carried through the airwaves. the air is literally carrying your words that move out of your mouth and into what? The air. When an air element card is here, it shows that now is a time for you to really express yourself, communicate, own your ideas, understand the knowledge you've acquired and the knowledge you are acquiring and how you're meant to use it in your life. The path of service is not an easy path. It's not a path of a follower. It's the path of a leader. Charoite, this beautiful purple stone, is seen here, flowing like a river in this valley between two lovely mountain ridges, towards the water, towards the sunrise, towards this beautiful arch of light in the sky. When the card comes up, it means you are here to be of service to humanity. You are here to bring a higher awareness and a higher understanding. This was already coming out as I described the Earthstar Talisman. It already came out in that I felt you chose this pile because it's sometimes easier for you to connect with your higher chakras than with your lower chakras. It's easier for you to feel spiritually inspired than it is to feel inspired by a corporate goal or by what your teacher tells you that you should be excited about. It's easier for you to get excited about spirituality. And I'm sure that's part of the reason you've been drawn to my YouTube channel, because I completely relate to that. Now, in the past, it shows you have already started working on this. And so if I was describing the reason to connect your lower chakras, to connect with Mother Earth, to be physically active, if you were thinking, don't tell me to do that, I'm already doing it, then good. This card is here as your confirmation. If you were thinking, I've always thought about doing that, again, good. This card is your confirmation, but it's also your cry to action to start really doing it. You are represented in this card by the character who is leaping the gorge, not on a motorcycle, not like a daredevil. He's leaping that gorge like a graceful ballerina. Look at the way his hands are gracefully positioned. Look at the point of the toes. Look at that splits. He's strong, he's fierce, but he's also connected to the feminine, graceful expression. Each side of that gorge represents a life experience. And so for the card to be here in the form of the past, it shows you have already taken a big leap from one identity to another. You already know what it's like to move beyond your patterns, to move from one aspect of self into the next. Whether this is graduating high school and moving into college, or ending a bout of singledom and starting a relationship, or vice versa, ending a relationship and discovering yourself anew. You have recreated yourself already. You've moved from point A to point B already. And now that you're at a new expression of yourself, now that you have taken action towards your goals and started realizing them, which I feel you've already made a big step towards, looking at this card here, you've awakened the passion of the fire element, you've jumped into a new beginning. Now you're at the point of feeling, what next? What do I do with all of this? Okay, I've laid a foundation, I've strengthened, I've toned, I'm ready. What do I do with this? Here's what you do with it. You get on your path of service. The feeling I'm getting from this Charoite card, and I'm going to do something that I didn't do for pile 1, and that is pull a second card of the present moment, requesting just a little bit more explanation about this. Because what it's time for you to do, what I'm feeling, and I guess I'm asking for a card to confirm this, what I'm feeling is that it's time for you to let go of the feeling that you are really good at expressing yourself, as long as you're talking about safe things that other people agree with and believe in, and you're feeling a little hesitation when it comes to expressing yourself in your path of service, in your spiritual capacity. I'm going to ask for one card to clarify that even more deeply. Yeah, passion, fire agate. Talk about fire energy. It's there in the past. It's there to clarify the air element of the future. The card is reversed, and yet it is an irreversible card because the top and the bottom are mirror reflections of each other. So we read this as its pure energy, right side up or reversed. The passion card over the card of path of service shows that you really are here to do what the Earthstar Talisman first revealed, which is take the higher energies of the higher realms of all of existence and space out there, and reflect it back down here, as above, so below. There's the universe, and here's your inner space. You are an embodiment of all that. And having the confidence to shine with that understanding, even in your day-to-day life, even in public, even when other people who don't believe in this kind of stuff are around to judge you for it, it's okay to express that. You can really easily manifest success when you're playing by the rules of the earth because other people support that. You've manifested some level of appreciation from the community. You've manifested some level of acceptance. You've created something for yourself. Now spiritualize it. Now, path of service can refer to all kinds of different healing modalities. This might mean you're called to give people advice in the role of a counselor. It could mean that you're meant to study some medicine and be a doctor, be a nurse, be a healthcare practitioner, a nutritionist, a physical coach, a physical therapist, maybe a trainer at the gym. You're here to be a healer in some way, physically, emotionally, or spiritually. Maybe you're here to do readings like these. Maybe you're here to be a sound healer, to give healing through music vibrations, to be a writer that inspires people. But there is something that you were born to do, and you already know it. You're just not doing it yet because of some hesitation. The Passion card shows that this is your path. This is what you're meant to do. If I tell you you're here to be a healer, and how do you want to heal people? I cannot tell you how you're meant to heal people, but you will already know how you're meant to be a healer because you will have had thoughts or fantasies or visions or ideas about it. When we see this card with the mirror reflection, it's the universe reflecting on the earth. It's your higher self reflecting on your inner self. It's also you reflecting on the people around you. When we get really passionate about something and we really believe in it, that passion is contagious. We become such an inspiring force in the eyes of others around us that even if they were skeptical, even if they were critical, even if they were resistant, on some level, they will also be appreciative, receptive, and they'll start raising themselves because of what we're showing, what we're doing. You're here to be a leader. You're here to be a healer. You're here to lead by example, and you're here to live that path of service. I'm going to ask for one last card. I'm asking the guides of those beautiful healer, leader spirits, everyone who chose pile 2. What's the final message for them in this spring cleaning reading so that they can let go of any hesitation towards their ultimate expression of self? And the card is Fill Yourself, represented by the stone of Morganite. We see the heart at the center of this card, and a marigold is blossoming in petals that can also be like flames of fire, which is like your energetic element right now. The fire of enthusiasm and excitement and action and passion. Your heart blooms when you fill it with all the things you love about you. And so self-gratitude, self-love is a really important key for you to be able to own your path of service with confidence, and to be unhesitantly true to your self-expression. Before other people recognize you and your gifts and your uniqueness, you have to recognize yourself and your gifts and your uniqueness. Fill yourself with all of that gratitude, and the flower of your heart is going to bloom so big and so beautiful and so radiant that not only you will have filled yourself, but you'll start overflowing and helping others feel fulfilled as well. So morganite would be a great crystal talisman for that. So would, of course, charoite, fire agate, and carnelian. I hope this reading was helpful for you. This talisman is available in my Etsy shop. It's one of a kind. There can never be another one like it because all the elements I put together are hand sculpted with the stones. So you can find that in my shop, The Art of Gems, listed in the description below. If you want a little bit more information about this, I'll do an extended version of the reading for those who support my work over on Patreon. I'll put a link to that as well. And if you want a personal reading, I'll put a link to where I offer personal readings in Wizio. But if this was all you're after for today, thank you so much for joining me here on YouTube. I hope these cards were helpful for you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, happy springtime, and congratulations on the beautiful life path you've chosen. It is such a gift to existence to come down here to Earth and be a healer, and I really feel that's the path you're walking. Great job, keep shining, keep inspiring, and much love to you. All right, hello and welcome to your reading pile 3. So much has already come through for pile 1 and pile 2. I just took a little moment right there to take a deep breath in and prepare myself for your reading, because once again, I feel like something really big is about to come through for you. So before I start to describe the incredible self-healed Himalayan quartz diamond talisman that you've chosen, first I'm going to play the singing bowl. Allow the sound bath that comes through the singing bowl frequency to cleanse my cards, myself, and my space, to release any energy that was in the reading for pile 1 and pile 2, so that your unique messages can channel through just for you, pile 3. So as I play this singing bowl, take a deep breath in. Hold your breath, breathe out slowly when you feel ready to. Keep that space of deep breathing. And set the intention that whatever messages come through in the reading today are coming from your higher guidance to serve your higher good. I'm not here to tell you anything. I'm just here to be a clear channel to what your guides, your angels, your gods and goddesses, your higher connections would like to reveal. Let whatever messages come through to serve the highest good of all who chose pile 3. All right, so before we look at your cards, you have chosen this beautiful Himalayan quartz diamond talisman with a small amethyst gem on the bottom. And this is a really powerful, very special crystal because it has been self-healed. You can recognize a self-healed crystal by little marks, almost like little nicks that appear in the end, where the crystal has been impacted while it was forming, yet it healed itself, continued to grow, continued to form, even over and past those fractures. And often they have inner rainbows that are visible when the light hits it at a certain angle. It's a cloudy day today, but if it were a sunny day, you'd be seeing little rainbows where it's been fractured. And as a double terminated crystal, this one spreads energy up and down. So when we wear double terminated quartz, it helps activate that Kundalini Shakti, that innate energy that's sometimes dormant at the base of the spine, but that awakens through meditation and yoga and spiritual connection. But more specifically, when we connect with a self-healed quartz like this one, I think some of the rainbows are showing up even though it's cloudy. When we connect with a self-healed quartz, it also awakens our ability to transmute anything in our lives that have been holding us back, to heal ourselves and to become stronger through whatever we've survived, whatever hardships or difficulties we've come through. Pairing that with the amethyst, a crown chakra gem of deep spiritual connection, it makes this a really empowering talisman, not only to heal from anything that was hurtful in the past, but also to deepen our connection to existence so that we can have the wisdom to see our life experiences from a higher perspective, to understand why and how we've chosen what we're going through. I don't mean this to be a way of saying if you've been hurt, you called it in, you manifested that pain, you did it to yourself, and now it's time to recognize why. Of course, in this world of free will, sometimes things happen to us that we wouldn't have necessarily chosen for ourselves. And it sucks. We lose people who we love. Things that we want to see continue will come to ends. We might be misled, we might be misguided, we might be abused. When I say understand why we chose the life experiences we chose, I don't mean to gaslight you and say things that have sucked in your life, you chose them. I mean to say things that have sucked in your life, you chose to live despite them. And when you can empower yourself to heal from those traumas, that doesn't mean blame yourself. It means really love yourself, embrace yourself. Sometimes when people have been hurt, they feel so ashamed that they continue to hurt themselves. And I think a lot of the time in the spiritual community, a lot of well-intentioned people give very negatively impacting messages. Sometimes if a loved one dies, you'll hear people say it was their time. And that's not really helpful if you know that you would have benefited from having more time with them. If anything, it makes you feel worse and misunderstood and like you're not as spiritual as you should be because you don't see that higher perspective. A self-healed crystal, it's no less perfect than a crystal that formed without fractures. Where it has been hurt, it has created rainbows. And so in some ways, it's become even more beautiful because its path into existence hasn't always been totally perfect. So recognizing the perfection in your imperfections, recognizing the growth that can be catalyzed through difficulties, recognizing the strength that you develop when you overcome pain. That's the message in this crystal. And I'm immediately thinking of the example of bodybuilding. It's like when you work a muscle group and you target it and you activate it, and the next day that muscle feels sore. It's because you've like ripped through that muscle tissue and now it's repairing itself, and it repairs itself and becomes bigger every time. And similarly, when we go through difficulties in life, we come through stronger every time. When this crystal is coming out, it's telling you, like when you've chosen it, if you've been drawn to this one, give yourself a pat on the back because you've gone through some shit, but you're healing through that. And you are getting stronger. Just like a muscle that's been strained rebuilds itself bigger, a person who has gone through something difficult comes through a bigger person. So good for you on that. And now we're going to look at some cards. This is a spring cleaning reading. As we enter the month of March, the snow is starting to melt away. The grass might start turning green again. The birds will start singing. The trees will start getting leafy. It's time to clear away any residual winter vibes and bring on the spring. So we're going to look at a card from the top of the deck representing the present moment we're moving into. So what to expect for spring. The card on the bottom represents the past that it's time to clear away. The present, we have insight represented by the stone azurite. And the past, convergence represented by chiastolite. I think I had a piece of chiastolite on the table here. I'm just looking to see if I can show it to you as we get into these messages. Pardon me, as I have to do some spring cleaning myself of my tarot table because I'm getting more and more decks, which means I'm having less and less space. Oh no, it's not a chiastolite, it's a starlight. Either way, I'm going to put it there because I feel like the energy is calling to be included. There's some resonance in it. Put a couple other charms here too. I'm feeling like Lakshmi wants to come forward and give you some blessings of abundance. Okay, so the card of convergence, we see the spider web form, which represents the web of Indra, like Indra's net. It's the web that links all life. It's our home on this planet. It's what holds all of us together. And the stone of chiastolite shows the coming together of the four polar directions, the four energetic directions, northwest, east, and south, converging in a central point, which is always where you are right now. Like where you are, literally as you hear these words, you are sitting in the center of your universe. From you to the north is the north, to the south is the south, to the east is the east, to the west is the west. You are dead center of your world. And everything that happens around you, everything you see on the news, everything your friends and family talk about, everything that you've learned at school, everything that you want, everything that you do, everything you have been, and everything that you hope to be and don't want to be and do want to be, all of that centers in your consciousness. And when this card comes up in the past, it shows you have experienced a lot, you have witnessed a lot, you have been through a lot, you have wanted a lot, you've let go of a lot, you've done a lot. It's just the card of a lotness. It's a storm element card, which means it combines the water energy represented by the sea, the fire energy represented by the lightning bolt, the air energy represented by the sky, and the earth energy represented by the hills or the mountain range in the background. And when all four earth elements are there, it shows a beautiful combination of having the fluidity, the stability, the enthusiasm, and the wisdom to deal with whatever life gives to you. And so what it's showing is that even though you've taken on a lot in your life, you've always had what you needed to be able to handle it. And now, what you're moving into is a place of deeper insight, deeper understanding of everything that's transpired. It's an air element card represented by the sky visible in the border here. And in the card, you're represented by this beautiful, ancient, royal face, with the open third eye represented by the azurite crystal inlaid in the forehead, and the eye of Horus, or the Wadjet here. Interesting that I had this charm, and here it's the right eye. This one is the left eye, so it kind of brings it into a nice balance. But that symbol represents intuition and the ability to see past the illusion of reality, past the veil of Maya, into the greater truth. Now, because it was reversed, and this card here is right side up, that means that what it's time to clean away in this time of spring cleaning is a tendency to get caught up in the physical reality. Indra's web, or the veil of Maya, is all about what happens in this earthly plane, what you see on the news, what's written in the history books, what's taught in school, what's believed by modern science to be the be-all and end-all of reality. When you start to identify yourself as the sum total of all your identifiers, your name, your gender, your level of education, your income, your popularity or lack thereof, or your appreciation or your disrespect, when you start to identify yourself by what can be measured financially, physically, how attractive you are, how much you do, how helpful you might be to other people, how useless you might feel sometimes. If you start to identify yourself based on physical reality parameters, you miss out on the greater picture of your true power. The self-healing takes place when you recognize what it is that you want to be and identify where you might feel like you're falling short of being what you want to be. And then you flood gratitude into those areas so that you can become what you want to be. And I'm not talking about something like healing a physical illness that maybe you might need to manage through medical help. I don't mean to shame anybody who might have a literal need for physical healing. I'm not trying to say you can drop your medications or not go to the doctor or not have a bone set if it's broken. Self-healing isn't about that physical layer. It's about the spiritual, emotional connection where people sometimes feel like they aren't enough of what they're meant to be. Now, this card reversed doesn't mean that you don't have insight. It means that your insight is deepening and your insight is strengthening and you are becoming more intuitive. You're starting to see a little bit deeper beyond that veil, and it's time to bring in even more of that energy. So without disregarding everything that you've seen and learned and observed and experienced in the physical, have that as a foundation. But what you build on that foundation is your true wisdom, your true depth of character, and your depth of self. Whenever you're represented on a card by the opening of the third eye, by a stone of that third eye chakra that symbolizes your greater spiritual awakening, it shows that what you're moving into this springtime is a deeper connection intuitively, a deeper mystical awareness than what you've had before. And since this is an air element card, it represents wisdom, learning, not only intuition, but also intelligence. It shows that you're coming into a stronger capacity of being able to process and understand the world and the universe. If you're in school, like if you're a student, whether that's in university or college or high school, or if you're taking some kind of training for anything, this card is coming up as a really strong validation that you're on the right path. The path of study is very, very open for you right now. Your inner space is very conducive towards learning. If you've thought about learning a new skill, definitely jump in and start learning it. And if you've thought of deepening your spiritual practice through more meditation, or maybe learning to read tarot cards, or learning to read crystals, learning to connect with that energy, maybe learning yoga or shamanism or whatever else it might be, this card is showing that your third eye powers are starting to awaken more deeply now. And so really enjoy that. I'm going to pull one more card for you. I will go deeper into this theme in an extended reading for those who choose to support my tarot reading spiritual path over on Patreon. So I'll put a link to that in the video description. But if this one video is all that you've come here for, thank you for joining me here. And I will ask for one more card for you from the Illustrated Crystallery. So as those in pile 3 are integrating all their life experiences and deepening their insight to move even further in their intelligence, their education path, their intuition, their spiritualization of life, and their experience of self-healing, what final message is there to help them on this beautiful path? And it is a card called Better with Time, represented by Amethyst. This is the card that says time heals everything, and also time makes everything better. I'm not trying to promote alcohol here, but I'm saying you are aging like fine wine, pile 3. Don't stress about getting old, because you are getting better with time. The more you grow, the wiser you become. And just like the fossil of Amethyst gets more colorful, more opalescent, more beautiful, and more precious the longer it forms, you are becoming so much more powerfully you. With every experience, with every passing day, with every meditation, with every course, with every year, you are just getting more and more interesting, powerful, wise. You are learning through experience. And I have just a strong feeling that Spirit wants to tell you, you would make a very wise teacher. And that doesn't mean you have to teach in a classroom, although maybe you will. That could be a great path for you. But you can be somebody who not only has an experience and learns from it, but also develops the capacity to articulate your experiences so that you can help others learn from your life. You might like to start keeping a journal and writing things down when they happen to you so that you can remember to share them with others. Maybe blog, maybe vlog, maybe really do start teaching a course or a class, but you have this intrinsic ability to distill the essence of what you've gone through, what you've experienced, what you've witnessed, what's happened to you, in a way that can bring relief and healing and aha moments of insight to those with whom you share. We see the zodiac wheel here. So if you feel connected to astrology or towards learning how the planets and the star positions affect life, go for it. We have some sacred geometry here, the triangle, the square, the circle, the spiral in the middle. So if you feel drawn towards higher mathematics and sacred geometry, go for it. There's the Ouroboros here, the snake swallowing his or her own tail, that shows the loop of infinity. So many beautiful symbols and so many esoteric paths of study. I just feel by the imagery on this card that you are a philosopher. You are someone who takes interest in learning how the spiritual realm works. And yeah, I just really feel like existence is telling you, go for it. Immerse yourself in study, immerse yourself in introspection, immerse yourself in learning whatever it is that you want to learn, and simultaneously share that with others. You are inspired, you are inspiring, you are a teacher. It's not that you're meant to be or could be or going to be a teacher. It's that by nature you're a teacher. When you learn something new, you feel called to share it, and go for that. And you're getting better with time. Let go of whatever feels like a past mistake. Let go of any feeling like you're not as good as you could be because something happened that made you feel like life isn't great. Grow from it, become better from it, the same way the fractures, I almost said fractals, so yeah, sacred geometry is something for you. The same way the fractures in a crystal become rainbows, the fractures in life become that iridescent opalescent coating. The wrinkles, the cracks in amethyst get filled with opal that make it even more colorful and even more beautiful. So I feel the message in this card, better with time, is really resonant and harmonious with the crystal that you chose. And enjoy that. You are already perfect. And you are becoming more so with every experience, with every insight, with every action, with every intuition, with every lesson. And since when I went to get this little symbol of the Egyptian enlightening eye, I also felt like Mahalakshmi wanted to come out with a blessing for you. I feel like now is also a great time in your life to manifest wealth, to really focus on your value, to be willing to ask for what you want and to embrace your worth and to recognize that you are qualified to have what you ask for. Enjoy that. Thank you again for joining me in today's reading. I really hope it was helpful for you. Happy springtime, out with the old, in with the new. Or maybe I can say, hold on to the good that came with the old and expand it even further into the new. Just like the layers of a fossil building up and forming, the layers of your consciousness are building up and also deepening. So much love to you, Pile 3. You are a powerful self-healer, a wise teacher, and a beautiful being on this wonderful awakening journey. Much love to you, and we'll see you in the next video, unless I see you over on Patreon or Etsy or for a personal reading. Until next time, all the best on this journey, and enjoy getting better and better. Bye.